Hunter Collins asks, what is your favorite video you've posted? My favorite video that I've posted is still my Liz Taylor inspired video that I did on my friend Shayna. I loved how that turned out, and it made me feel very, very good to be able to pay tribute to Liz, which I felt like it was something that I had never done before really, and I loved the way that it turned out because I felt like it did pay tribute and homage to Liz Taylor. And it was right after she died, so I don't know, I just had a special affinity for it. I also adore the music in that video, which is by J.D. McPherson and was actually used with his blessing, and that is a big deal for me. As you know, music is a huge part of my videos, but I've had to pare down using videos or using music from other recording companies, especially like my older music that I used from the 40s and 50s. There's a really, really large copyright issue with those videos, and so I've had to remove a lot, and I've had to depend on the contributions of great modern artists in order to keep the music aspect of my videos very forward in them, prominent. So it's important to me that I use music in my videos, but also that the music be with the consent of the recording company or the artist. And that video had music from the Scofflaws and music from J.D. McPherson, and both J.D. McPherson and the Scofflaws allowed me to use it. That meant a big deal to me, and it still does. So if you have a band and you have music that you would like me to use in my videos, please send it to me, because that means more to me than anything, having the contribution of artists that I admire. Hildy Van Heffeweisen asked me what my thoughts were on Tess Munster and her, the media attention surrounding her right now. I have spoken to her, I don't know if she remembers, but we had conversations on her YouTube channel as well as her Facebook page a few times about vintage styling. I think she's absolutely beautiful. And my only concern with any media attention surrounding her is that I just want to make sure that that people are being health conscious, because beauty in this industry is becoming more broad-minded. Health still should maintain first place in your regimen. As long as she is healthy, as long as as long as a model is healthy, I don't think there's any rules you have to follow in order to be beautiful. I just want you to maintain health. I get asked a lot, do your kids and husband wear vintage style? My husband is very classic in his tastes, and he really, really loves to wear a sport jacket and a hat to the movies. He sometimes has a handlebar mustache, sometimes he has a beard. His glasses that he wears are slightly like 1950s, or the 1950s style, with the like tortoiseshell at the top and the clear frames on the bottom. And most people, when they see him and I together, ask if we're musicians. So evidently they feel that he's in vintage style. He just considers it his style. You know, he likes classic style, and so do I. So we're not intentionally dressing our kids or ourselves vintage necessarily always. It's just the way it comes off. And my kids tend to wear very classic things too, like just dark denim jeans, plain t-shirts. They have nice haircuts. So yeah, people think that we look vintage, but that's not what we're necessarily trying to do. We just gravitate towards a classic style. Taryn Garrett asked, do you ever miss your red hair? Sometimes when I look at pictures, I see myself with my red hair and I'm like, I want my red hair back. But then again, I look at myself as a blonde and I feel like it's just, it's right, because I'm supposed to be a blonde anyway, so I don't necessarily miss my red hair. I probably will go back to it eventually, but I really love blonde for now, and I feel like that the color I've got right now is exactly what I wanted to begin with, so I'm going to keep it as long as I can. And this is L'Oreal Preference in 9.5A, I think. It's like a golden blonde. I was going with beige blonde for a really long time, and then I realized that my roots, because they are natural, were growing out sort of brassy. So I just decided that I would just switch to golden blonde, and now I feel like my roots and my tips are all kind of even. So it's not too golden for me. I really, really like it. Are you into any dorky but cool things? I guess a lot of people would consider me a dork in that I'm like a big pop culture baby. I absolutely love movies, music, you know, I'm steeped in TV trivia knowledge. I'm steeped in stupid stuff. I mean, like anytime there's an entertainment category on Jeopardy, I usually do really well with it, especially if it has to do with movies. But I'm also a huge Star Wars geek. I love Star Wars so much. Fans have sent me amazing things that are Star Wars related, from amazing tights that I got this past year from one UK fan, necklaces. I've had really, really cool responses based on my love of Star Wars, and I appreciate that stuff so much because I think it just acknowledges how much I love Star Wars. It's been a part of my life, huge part of my life since I was a little bitty girl, so I'm a big, huge Star Wars fan. And Han Solo is my favorite. So, of course, the original trilogy is always going to be my favorite because Han Solo is in it. However, the new one coming out also includes Harrison Ford as an older Han Solo, and I'm really, really super excited about that. I freaked out a little bit over the trailer and made a big deal of it on social media, and everybody laughed. But I tend to geek out over like the refrigerator that has Han Solo frozen in carbonite. Have you seen that on Pinterest? That's awesome. I really, really love like just Star Wars related kooky stuff, dresses and skirts and things like that. I mean, I would love to have a Star Wars clip for my hair. Jessica Upton asked, what's the hardest thing you've ever overcome? And do you struggle with body image? The hardest thing I've ever overcome has been dealing with, we have mental illness in our family, so it is by far the hardest thing that we have ever had to deal with as a family. And mental illness is something that I feel like is not given enough. I know you see memes all the time talking about how mental illness is not given enough attention. People don't recognize mental illness for what it is, that kind of thing. And I agree with that, but I also feel like it's sort of brushed off. I think mental illness is something that is not fully understood. And I think a lot of people post things on Instagram, on Facebook, and they don't realize that, that they may be completely misinformed, or they may be offending someone that is suffering from that illness. I'm not going to go into it too much. Perhaps someday I will. However, if you have any questions personally for me about it, feel free to email me. I may or may not respond. It just kind of depends on my mood at the time, or if I feel like I can. I don't know. There's still a sense of loyalty to the one who suffers that I feel like I don't want to say too much. As you know, I do not share pictures of my children on social media, and so I'm not likely to share super personal details about our lives either. However, I do feel like that's something that that is beneficial to know, that I have experience with that, and that it is by far the hardest thing I've ever had to overcome. But I feel very happy with where I am right now in my life and with my understanding of it. So if you feel like I can help you in any way with my advice or with my experience, then feel free to email me and we'll talk. Struggle with body image. Yes, I used to be super skinny. My legs were chicken legs, and the way I dealt with it is that I worked out a lot and made myself feel better about myself, and then eventually I realized that I didn't care as much anymore, and I think it was just a matter of feeling like I had some control over it. Once you gain control over it, whatever it takes, whether it's writing down what you eat, whether it's keeping track of calories, or whether it's just working out every day and trying to keep track of that on paper, I'm really good at, I can visualize things a lot better if I write them down. And yeah, I have goals. Everybody has goals, but I feel like I'm more able to reach them if I feel in control of them. Carrie Conant asks, how do you prevent structured styles from calming when you live in high humidity? You can't. They're gonna calm. This one has calmed since I sat here, and my room is really hot, and no, there's no fan in here, and it's just really humid in here right now, so my hair is like relaxing as I speak. But you cannot keep it from calming. What you can do is sort of keep an eye on it as it calms and sort of reform it as the day progresses. And if you feel like it's gotten to a point where it's just too flat, you can just put it up or do something else with it. So really it's just about harnessing the humidity and making it work for you. It's going to relax though. So just make sure you're using a good setting lotion to kind of help fortify it. And then if you can't keep it from relaxing, work with what you've got. And the question of all questions, how do you feel about turning 40? I am turning 40 in July, and I am proud of it. And I will not be getting any sort of surgery or any sort of anything done to my face. There will be no needles in my face. There will be no cuts made to my face. I am not saying that people who do that are wrong. As a matter of fact, I have very close family members who have had facelifts, have had injections. They seem very happy, and I do not think there's anything wrong with it. However, I sort of subscribe to Kate Winslet's line of thought, who is also turning 40 this year, that every single line and every single age spot on my face is kind of a tribute to where I've been. It's sort of a milestone type of thing, and I sort of want to put it out there that there's nothing wrong with embracing those changes that come naturally to your body, to your face, and remembering what brought them there. The laugh lines are there because you laughed. The age spots are there because you have wisdom, hopefully. Hopefully you've learned a little. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with looking your age. There's nothing wrong with looking older than your age. There's nothing wrong with looking younger than your age. I personally feel like whatever makes you happy is what you should do. And when it comes to your appearance, I intend to fight the signs of aging with really good skincare and with makeup, and that's what I intend to do about it. And I'll be the first to admit I use filters in my photos. It makes me feel better about the photo itself, since the photo is going out there in the world. However, I am definitely not someone who feels like you should use a whole lot of makeup to mask your face. I just feel like that you should work with what's there. And some people like a lot of makeup. I like more makeup than a lot of people do, but I still try to keep my skin as natural looking as possible. When people come into my job at work, they will tend to always ask me, do you wear foundation? That to me is the supreme compliment. Do you wear foundation? Heck yeah, I wear foundation. Thank you so much for thinking I don't. That's how I feel about it. I just want to work with what I have, fight it the best and most natural way that I can, and just embrace the changes that come, because that is all about the life you've lived. And if your life has been hard, then you're probably a better person because of it. And if your life has been easy and super happy, which I feel like mine mostly has been, then hopefully that shows as well. But yeah, those are the questions that I was asked. I'm gonna have to make 2 videos out of this because I've been talking for almost 30 minutes. But if you have any other questions, feel free to email me, feel free to ask me, and I'm here to answer and here to help. And I'll be back in just a little while with a review of the 8-in-1 Sapphire Hair Wand from Irresistible Me, because you guys have asked about it.